Hi, I'm Rachel Chester,
And I'm Nancy Parnell.
and this is my Premier Mom and my real mom. Today we're going to talk to you about customer care and integrity.
But before we start, I would like to read a verse of 2017. So this is the verse of the year. God has given each of you a gift from his great variety of spiritual gifts. Use them well to serve one another. That's 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 10.
Okay, so the first thing that we wanted to talk to you about was that Premier is a company that's based on service. So when you guys are serving others and you're developing your brand, you're giving yourselves a name. And people have lots of different options that they could shop with, but they're going to continue to come shop with you based on your service and customer care. So good customer care is very important. So basically, be a person of your word. Always under-promise and over-deliver, and follow through with what you say you're going to do. We have a system called the 222, and what that means is 2 days after you have a show, go ahead and contact your guests and customers and thank them for coming. Another way that you can serve them is 2 weeks after the show, contact them and see if everything is going okay with the jewelry that was just delivered to them. And lastly, 2 months out after the show, go ahead and check on them to make sure that the jewelry is still holding up and let them know that the 60-day golden guarantee is about to expire, and see if they need anything to be exchanged or returned. Another way that we can serve our guests and customers is to send out thank you cards to our hostesses. Let's be honest, everybody loves getting things in the mail, right? And lastly, another way that we can help serve is through exchanges. And so let's not think of it as a burden, but as a way to get to know somebody and to help them and again, serve and care for them. Be prompt on your exchanges. That's always a plus.
Very important.
The last thing I wanted to talk to you about is the golden guarantee. And so you can refer back to this because us seasoned jewelers always have to refer back to everything. But this is our golden guarantee. It says, Premier Design stands behind every piece of jewelry that is sold. If there is a manufacturing defect, excluding normal wear and tear, detected within 60 days of ownership of any item, Premier Designs will replace it at no charge. If there is a manufacturer's defect after 60 days, there will be a small service charge of $7 plus tax for each item returned. And so underneath this video, you guys are going to find a form that you can print up and actually take with you to your shows and have it prepackaged in a little baggie so that when somebody shows up to your show and they need an item exchanged and returned, you can go ahead and have them fill out that form and place it into the bag, and so you stay organized.
Very good. And it's not uncommon to have that happen pretty much at every jewelry show. So it is good to be organized and have those baggies ready to put your jewelry in so you don't lose them and forget them. But what I wanted to talk about was integrity. Integrity is super important in our business. What we want is to learn how to set a good example in the way that we act, the way that we talk to our guests and our hostesses, and also to be good at following through in this business. But it's really important to be encouraging and uplifting and portray a solid image of yourself. It's important also to honor your upline, your sideline, and your downline. If a hostess or a prospect or even a potential customer has been working with another jeweler, what you want to do is always refer them back to that jeweler. So I'd like to give you an example. You're at a jewelry show and one of the guests comes in and she is dripping in jewelry. Obviously she loves jewelry and she's been to a jewelry show before and perhaps might even already have a jewelry lady. So a good question to ask her is, so Kathy, what is your experience with Premier?
Well, I have a Premier jewelry lady, but I can't remember what her name is, and I haven't talked to her, well, in several years.
So what you do is when that comes up and you know that you really want to find out who her jewelry lady is, because it is important that you refer her back to that jewelry lady. So we want to do that. The other thing with social media, this is very important as far as integrity goes. You do not want to complain on Facebook, anything social media. If you have a concern or a problem with your jewelry or the way things are going on, you just don't want to say it online or anywhere where people can hear you say it. You call up your upline or your downline and you find out, talk about it with them. And that is just really important, because you want to represent a company and have great integrity.
Because the heart of Premier is serving.
To serve others. Yes.
Thank you for joining us.